What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hammerdown Motorsports. And behind me today, this is something I don't think I've ever in my life thought I would ever say. Would I be trading in my Cummins? Not only just any Cummins, this is a 2014 that I bought brand new, and it currently has 15,400 and change miles on it. So it's basically brand new, hardly even broken in, but we've had it for a few years. Will I be trading this in on a Power Stroke diesel? Well, that's a pretty big, almost might be happening. It's just something I never ever thought I would say. Just a little history on this truck. This is my 2014, brought it brand new. Door's going down by itself. But either way, the air intake I did because the factory one, if you guys went back into those videos, I did do a couple videos on this truck where we did a couple of mods, and well, the factory system, the clamps were not stainless and they rusted and they broke. I had 3 clamps break on the factory intake system. So I put an SB on it, and the S&B has been awesome. I really haven't had any miles on it. The filter is like brand new on it still. So there's that as one of our mods, and I did a Edge Juice with Attitude tuner on it. I don't run the tunes on it because it still has a DPF and all that kind of stuff. So I just use it as a monitor just so I have an EGT probe and all that, so we can keep an eye on everything. With a diesel, it's just kind of how I am. I want to be able to see all my gauges at once. And the dash on this truck, well, it has all the gauges. You got to flip through the menu and all that, and it's really kind of antiquated. Things have come a long way since 2014, which brings me to why I might be getting rid of this truck. So yes, as you guys know, we do not really discriminate about American brands around here. We do have, well, we have one Porsche, we have a Range Rover up there, we have a Yukon, we have the Hammer Wagon, which is a 95 Dodge, we have Mud Mouse, which is a 2000 F-150, we have the 14 Cummins, we have the 19 Ram, and we have the Dodge Dart, and we have the Camaro. So we have 4 Dodge and Chevy around here. Basically, a couple of European ones mixed in there, a little bit here and there, but I mean, really, kind of when it comes down to it, I am a more American kind of car person. And yes, this brings us to why would I trade my legendary Cummins diesel in for a Ford? And that would be because Ford, I think, finally got it right. They finally built a truck that people would want. Back in the day, the 7.3 liter, awesome truck, awesome engine, especially in the Super Duty. The 2003, the last year of, I think, late 02, maybe early 03, you could still get a 7.3 or a 6.0, and everybody knows a 6.0, it needs a lot of work, and it took them a long time to get there with that engine to get it, you know, to that point. But I mean a lot of money working on 6 liters back in the day because, well, we had fleets of them, they'd break down all the time. We replaced engines and all the fuel stuff that would go wrong with them, and if you've owned a 6.0, you know you've been on the side of the road more than a couple of times, I'm sure. Then Ford went to the 6.4, and the 6.4 had its own share of issues, and that was the end of International's relationship with Ford as far as the diesels go for their trucks. And Ford went with their own engine, the 6.7 liter. The Gen 1 had a couple of hiccups along the way as well. They had glow plug issues, some valve issues, and things like that. And then now we're 5 years in, they're on the Gen 2, and you do see a lot of people buying these. You see a ton of them on the road, and I've watched 1,000 videos probably on it already. And people are really into these new trucks, and they're just, you know, they can't stop talking about how much power they have. There's like nothing they can't tow. Reliability has been good and all that. So definitely drop in the comments. What is your thoughts on the new 6.7 liter Ford in the aluminum Super Duty? Because I think they've really got a winner of a truck on their hands, because when I see that truck, it just, you know, I don't, anybody, car guys, maybe you can just kind of attest to this, but when you look at a truck and you're just like, wow, okay, that's got a lot of potential, or that's just done right. I like the grill, I like the headlights. And I couldn't always say that because, like, in the original, like, Lariats and whatnot, where they had the incandescent headlights and whatever, it needed some updating, it needed some work. So, I mean, now we're starting to get somewhere with that truck. And I think for a channel truck, I mean, I don't want to say it's going to be a build because I don't necessarily know if that's what I want to do. But, I mean, if we have it here, we're probably going to end up doing stuff to it. That's just kind of how it goes around here. So where we're at right now, this truck, I'm just kind of getting it ready. I'm doing an oil change on it and rotated the tires, just kind of getting the maintenance up to where I would feel comfortable because, you know, it needs an oil change. I have oil for it. I might as well just do it. And I had to take the decals off and all that, clean the truck out, get it looking nice. And yeah, this is going to be, I would say this is going to be our trade-in. Nothing is a done deal yet because I have to go to the dealership and I have to deal with them, and they have to tell me what they're going to give me for this truck, and they're going to have to kind of see how that's all going to kind of play out, because at this point I still will walk away if there's not, you know, something's not right. So I don't want to say I'm getting this truck 100%, but I do have one. It's left the factory already. I have a rather large deposit on it, so they can't sell it out from under me, but I guess if they do, we'll be talking about that. But the truck market's crazy right now. You can't find anything. This one was already ordered by the dealership. I built mine on Ford's website, and this truck had everything I wanted except for cab lights, which it's $95. Click the box. Who doesn't like cab lights? I mean, I don't know, but it doesn't have them, and if I do end up getting the truck, I don't know whether I'm going to put them on or not, because I don't want to drill into the roof. And we can do the Cab Over America ones, but those you have to use the remote for. I mean, it's undecided at this point. We might be doing that as well. That's just, it's cab lights. It's not the end of the world. Now, truth be told, I have wanted one of these Super Duties forever, and it just never ever seemed to work out. Either it wasn't the right truck, it wasn't the right deal, there's like no money off or whatever, which we don't really consider anymore because of how crazy the truck market is, where MSRP is kind of a good deal nowadays, which is crazy, but it never worked out. It was never the right truck. It was never the right time. And I would have ended up having to settle for, the last one was a blue Lariat, and it had all incandescent lights everywhere, no LED lights, nothing like that. It was kind of weird. And I'm very glad that I didn't get that truck, because now what is out there from the factory is just so much better. And I'm not going to give away exactly the spec that I'm going with, but you guys can drop in the comments. What do you think? What would you get if you were going to get a brand new 2022 Super Duty? Now they have the big screen, so it's kind of like, yeah. That was kind of the turning point for me. That was what I always said in my other video, where I was like, I'm going to wait for the big screen. It was supposed to come out in 2021, ended up being 22. Everything, the world went crazy, all that kind of stuff. We're still not anywhere normal, but it is what it is. This is kind of where we're at in this market. And that brings me to the Bronco, because, well, we ordered the Bronco beginning of this year. It's September now, and they're basically saying maybe by the end of next year we might have our Bronco. And I saw the Bronco in person. I parked the Rebel up next to it, and my Rebel dwarfs that Bronco. It's a smaller vehicle than I thought it would be, and I know a lot of people said, they're like, you got to see it in person. I'm like, nah, it's fine. You're talking about the Bronco Sport. No, it's not the Bronco Sport. This was a Badlands. It wasn't a Sasquatch, but we're going all over the place. But this is kind of all tying together on why I'm making this video in the first place. But the Bronco, I just don't think it's for me. I just don't think it suits me. It did on paper, it did on the videos and all that. I'm like, I'm going to go off-roading, it's going to be great. I don't think I'm going to do that, because if I have to wait till the end of next year, and the dealership also said they were going to mark everything up by like 15 grand. So now, okay, I'm spending $62,000 on this thing originally. I've waited over a year and a half already. Now it's going to be even longer. So potentially you can wait 2.5 years for a truck, 3 years. That will end up costing me like $75,000 for a Jeep comparable two-door. You know, a Rubicon you can get that for like $55,000. So it'd be like $20,000 more than a Jeep, and I don't think it's $20,000 better than a Jeep in any regard. So that being said, I can spend a little more, and I can get a Super Duty, diesel, 4-wheel drive, all that kind of stuff. That was just kind of my thought process. And then I'm like, well, this truck, it sits. It's always sitting. It's too big to just daily drive and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not really using it for work anymore because, well, we have the shop, like I said. So this is kind of the decision I had to make. I was like, I can get rid of a vehicle that I don't use and get something that I will use, and then we can use it for the channel. And yeah, if you guys are Ram people, you're probably like, why would you do that? Go get another Ram or whatever. I don't know. Whatever your opinion is, drop it in the comments. Am I crazy? Am I crazy to get rid of a Cummins for a Ford? Maybe. It may be the worst decision ever, but I think we're like 80% there now. So we'll see what happens in the next week or so, week or two, and we'll go from there. But that's just kind of where I'm at with this, and I just want to share that with you guys. So with that being said, I really need you guys to go in the comment section and just kind of give your opinions. Cummins versus Ford versus Power Stroke versus should I trade it, should I not trade it? I don't know. Do you guys want to see this on the channel? Do you not want to see it on the channel? I don't know. Either way, we're not getting rid of the Rebel just yet. We might be hanging on that forever. We might hang on to that for another year. I'm not sure. But with that all being said, I hope you guys enjoyed my ramblings of the day and just kind of my thought process. It's been a little bit since I've made a video because I guess kind of everything's been crazy, and yeah, here I am. We're back doing it again. So here it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and as always, keep that hammer down. And for those of you who stuck around for my ramblings this long in the video, I'll give you guys a little shop update here, just kind of give you guys an idea of where we're at with things. And if you can see behind me, there's a lot going on as far as stuff everywhere and just construction and cars and projects and all that kind of stuff. But that's how it goes around here. And if you are a car guy and you've got lots of stuff tore apart, I'm sure you can relate. So over here we have the 72 Dart. Over here we have the 17 Camaro SS with the Vortex supercharger. Over here, this is actually leaving today. We have Marty Motoring's IS350. He's got to put his grill back in, but he's got a whole lot of stuff going on in this car. Definitely check him out if you don't already. We have some trash to throw away. We have parts for the Hammer wagon. I've got some stuff to hang on the wall. We have metal to fix some of the, I end up smashing into the building with my snowplow, which I've probably never told anybody before, but either way, this is the metal to replace that. And then we have more insulation to do, and neighbor Mike borrowed me this lift, so this is gonna make things a whole lot easier, but it's been so hot, I just need to wait until it cools down a little bit more so I can do this, because when I did this row, I basically had to lay in the bottom of my pool so my head, would cool down. It was so hot in here, but we're looking to get HVAC and all that, make this place a lot more usable. And yeah, we have stuff everywhere. I know. Mezzanine, let's go up there. Let's check that out for a minute. Show you guys a little bit about what we got going on up there. There's not a whole lot of progress just yet, but I've been out of town a lot, so it's kind of like a whole thing, trying to do what we can with what time we have. So let's go in here, which is nicely air conditioned. So what would a shop that's, half constructed and got stuff everywhere be without a mezzanine that is kind of in the same position? We do have some clutter and stuff, definitely. We have a clutter problem everywhere. But either way, we do have a place to sit now. This is the couch I brought from the beach house. If you guys haven't seen, this is our bar / kitchen kind of area here. Got the LED lights underneath, got the rock product on there. Did order some bar rail, which is nice, so you can just kind of rest your arm on that when you're sitting here on the stools. Just got to do another cut here to make this a little bit more a nice transition. And then over here you can see I did my first coat of epoxy on this. This is just some pine that I took a torch and burnt, and then it's got 3/4 inch plywood underneath, and everything is nicely screwed down and tight. And then I put some shell casings in here. There was knots, and I would drill them out and then just put a shell casing in, and then epoxy goes over top, and you can see the shine on here. It's really cool. It's a nice effect. I was gonna do something here so we don't see the LED dots, but I don't know, it doesn't really bother me. And we do have this all lit up as well. So then I'm gonna put the rock product under there, kind of give us a little bit of a dimension effect on that. We got our receptacles and everything, so we're good to go. And this just might be something for the future as well, if I can use this as a backdrop for, I like to do some cooking stuff. We might have a deck built out here eventually, and then I can put my smoker out there, my kettle, all that kind of stuff for charcoal cooks and all that kind of thing, and just kind of share some of the stuff that I like to do. That's really one of my other real hobbies is doing the whole cooking thing. I really love putting stuff together and having something that is really just awesome, and you don't have to go to a restaurant for it, because most of the time restaurant food isn't that good anyways. Back in here I have my sink that's still in the box that's got to go onto that other counter. I got to cut the hole for it and run all the piping. And then we have these headers. There's another one downstairs, but this I ran a wire through, and then it's got a flame light on the end, so it kind of gives that effect like it's running. And what I'm going to do is actually mount these to the wall, kind of on either side of the flag. And then I've got this whole light system that's going to go through the piping like what we have up here, and it's going to give that light kind of shining over here on the flag, and I think that'll be really cool. This is my custom messy desk and a bunch of stuff that I got everywhere. This is my little editing station right now, and eventually this will all be neat and tidy. I hope I can promise that.